Hello everyone, welcome to our channel again, where we showcase our own house building project and the work of PND Construction, our company in Ghana. Today we have an update on Project Kofi, substructure work. We have finally completed the foundation, and we thought it's a good time to give you an update of where we are, what challenges we faced, and how that can help you on your own project. For those of you who are first time watching this project, this is a 5-bedroom property with approximate size of 8,800 square foot. It arranged over ground and first floor. On the ground floor, it's had a 1-bedroom self-contained, which is only accessible through the outside of the property, which I would call a small caretaker space. And then you got another 1-bedroom, like guest bedroom on the ground floor. It's got 2 large kitchens. One is a wet kitchen, one is a dry kitchen. For those of you who don't know, a wet kitchen is where your main appliances are usually keep your cooker, your fridges, everything is kept in a wet kitchen. In the dry kitchen is where you use for presenting food or entertaining guests. On the first floor, we got a very large master bedroom with its own sitting area with a view to the back because it's on terrace. And then your usual stuff you have in a big house, which is the walk-in closet and the bathroom. Then we got another sitting area. Then we got 2 ensuite bathrooms as well with their own balconies on the first floor. Coming back to the video, as you can see now, the guys are just doing the filling. What we do is that we do comparting in 2 stages. After we done the filling halfway, about 1 foot, we like to compact in stages. We don't rely really on the rain or trying to water the filling down because I think if you work in construction in Europe or America, you won't go around and see contractors pouring water down lateral to make sure it's well compacted. So we've tried to follow the building code, and we compact in stages. So what you can see currently is the halfway filling point, and the guys are just doing the first compacting. After the first compacting is done, what you'll see down in the video is the second stage. So the filling, when it's finished, then the lateral will be brought out again. Then we fill to make up the level to the required level. I do understand why people wait for the rain or water the lateral, but I think for us, those of us who are contracting and working to program, we haven't got the luxury of time to wait for the rain or keep watering it before continuing our work. So that is mainly the reason why we do 2-stage compacting. But if you have the time, you're gonna do your foundation and wait another 6 or 8 months through the rainy season, or before you cast your ground bearing slab. I think that is perfectly fine. You can adopt that process. But as I said, we are on program, and so we do 2-stage compacting to make sure the ground is well compacted, and also the lateral we use is grade 1 lateral. If you see just in the image on the left side, there is a lot of soil there, which they cleared the land. We could have used that to do the filling, but it wasn't the right materials because we want grade 1, the top quality lateral that got stones in it. That is what you want to use for your filling, and then just make sure it's well compacted. We treat every project as our own and always use the top quality material. And because if you're building for somebody, someone is building, we are building for buildings to be there generations to come. What is the typical lifespan of a building? 60, 100 years. It depends on the design life, but you want a building that will be there for generations to come. So only the top quality materials we use on all our projects. One of the comments we regularly get from people is, why are you using corridors blocks? Why don't you just use a normal sand and cement block? Why don't you use F blocks? but I think it's people who come to us have seen our own house building project, and they like the quality of what they have seen, and that is what they want. And everyone building in Ghana, and majority of people will use corridors blocks because that is deemed to be superior to your normal um, sand and cement blocks. Don't get me wrong with this. I don't think there's any scientific data on that, but in terms of strength, in our opinion, the corridors block is superior. One of the challenges we face during this stage of the filling is availability of materials and also the rain. The TP drivers were on strike approximately for about a week, and then that created a backlog. So it became difficult in trying to get the right material being delivered onto the site. So you can see now, finally, we happy we got one truck just being delivered. And what happened is this guy, he's the one we've been using since we started the project. He keep promising us. He brings one, then he disappeared for a couple of days. So it came to a point whereby we have to go and get another driver just to bring us the load. We have to pay a bit more than we usually, because what happened is the strike there that they had in in a local area basically was about increasing the price of the stone, sand, everything that the tipper drivers bring to your site. So the price has gone up. And then the driver promises to say, okay, since you place the order before the price increase, I'm going to bring you all the rest of the materials, because in this filling, we use, I think, 18 to 20 uh, uh, truck, 18-ton trucks to fill it. And he brought us 10 before the strike and said, I'm going to bring the rest to you. Then he became a problem. He brings one, then he disappeared for a couple of days. So at the end, I said to let's go and get somebody else. I don't really care about 200-300 cities more than what we would have paid the other guys, because what we do, although we place these orders with these guys, we don't pay them until they physically bring the stuff to the site. So that is what we do. We place the order. I'll say we need 5 stones, we need 5 sand. If you bring it to the site, you get paid. We don't pay anyone advance for materials not brought to the site. So one of the things also we decided to do at this stage is to raise all our columns to the first floor, because if you can see, those not yet raised, they just left the right sizes before they get extended. So it's a minimum requirement for the columns to join your iron rod to join to each other. So we feel when we cast a slab, there won't be enough to meet the structural specification. So we spoke to the client and we raised the columns to the right level. What Mike is doing now is that we checking the levels of the finished level, essentially how do the cars come into the house, where the garage is. We do this at every build project we do working on, because you need to get your levels right. You don't want to finish your house and then you fill up, then you cover half of your fence wall, you cover half of the building. All your DPC is now underground. So we just checking the levels to make sure that when we do the filling, there is a ramp to go into the garage. Is it right before we do the casting? So all these things is what we talk about every day. We say everyone to do on their project. We just showing you how it's done. Uh, in normal sense, you'd have get guys and land surveyors there with their right equipment to check the levels, but we haven't got those tools. Also, we can do it pretty well. We're just doing it manually. So we're happy with that. So what you can see now is the final stage of the comparting and also sand blending. So one thing I would say is, if you look at the land, as we previously said, for those who watched the first video, the land slopes from the very top. This is the top of the land onto the right. There is about 4 or 5 feet different in height. So the part of the landscaping strategy is that the top side will be a dig down, will be dig down to do a mini steps to go onto the landscaping to get the levels as you see in the CGI image that created. So over here, currently, what you can see is all the earth, all the digging that the filling they're doing, all the soil are all about there. But there is about 1 foot of block around the foundation, because we want that you got the minimum level before you place your DPC. You got the minimum level of 15 inches or 150 mil uh, of the DPC above the highest point of the land. So we meet all those requirements before we do, but as part of the wider landscaping strategy, which we've already been talking about by checking the levels, the house, the top of the house is get leveled down, and then level out to get a flat surface. So there'll be, to go on to the landscaping, the courtyard or the grass, wherever you will, the garden, there will be 2 steps before you go on there. So this is the final stage of the comparting. The guy is back. This day we got the plumber here, and then he's doing all his final pipe works for all the drainage works. So what we originally did at the foundation stage was a rainwater pipe, because it's a parapet roof with a rain gutter. So what it is we put all those pipes in the walls so that it become more easier for us as we go up. So that's the plumber there. He's just taking the sand in order to place his pipe. We all these things require coordination. The reason why we bring the plumber in this day is that we want the earth to be filled back, then compacted, because if the compactor comes and the guy leaves side, then the plumber comes back, then you're gonna have some soft spots in your filler, and your then you don't want soft spot. So to avoid that soft spot, the composer guy is there the day this guy is doing his work. So again, they will fill the trenches back in and then compact in stages as we have done, so that you get no soft spot. It's very key to make sure you don't have soft spot. You have soft spot in your filling when you walk on the floor, when it's casted, that's where you can hear people locally, people will say that the floor is talking, because you can hear some vibration. So it's important to get your filling done correctly. So this is a video the plumber sent me before he left site about 6:30 on the day they were doing this. What happened is the plumber finished everything according to the drawing. Then I sent a video to the client, and the client said, oh, actually, I want concealed toilet. I want all my toilet to have contour settings. So in order to achieve all the toilet, you see the back where you flush to be completely flush with the wall, we need to set those waste pipes in the walls. Because if it's not in the walls, what it means is the boxing we need to do, you're gonna lose a bit of space in a room. So to do that, I have to call the plumber. He was just about to leave side. I said, go back. You need to change all these pipes to go in the walls. So he has gone back and do it. So what you can see now is where we are making the final preparations ready for the casting. So our DPMs have just been laid. We talk about this DPM we use depending on the land and the soil condition, the ground conditions what we use. And one of the things we always talk is that there is no point laying the DPM without not using DPM tape to tape the joints. And also your DPM must be laid correctly. And I must say, we are very glad to see that the older people are taking our advice on board. We can see across all the channels that people are beginning to lay DPM, and also began to use tape. People began to talk about DPC. Those are great because the more people do it, it's less dam problems you're going to have, less rising dam problems you're going to have on your building, which is a big health problem. So yeah, I think it's when you buy your DPM, make sure you get a DPM tape. You must buy sufficient so that you can not just tape the joints, but tape against around anywhere you got your waste pipe, your rainwater pipes are, the thing is going. Because in order to stop the damp, you need to understand how the damps gets into the building. It's by a process called capillary action. How do you stop that capillary action? There was a video I did some time ago with Sika when we talk about that. So it's good to understand the process. Then how do you come up with a solution of resolving that process? Um, One of the things you see when we have foundations that you got your footing in excess of 2 feet or 600 mil above the ground level, we try to apply bitumen inside of the wall to avoid any damp patches coming outside. The reason why we don't apply it to the dividing walls or sleeper wall is that because we lay DPM like this, the whole foundation is fully covered. There is nowhere whereby water ingress is going to come through the slab. And also our slab, we cast also, there's waterproof additive that is added to every slab we cast. So the protection, upper protection layers is always in our work to make sure you get a good superior building. Here, the guys are just setting out a day before the casting, bringing the machine. I think it's unassailable. The guys were pushing the machine, and then someone said, "Look at how the guys are struggling." No, this is the only way you can get the machine to where it needs to be for the casting to be done. So, I think we rented 2 machines on this day, but on hindsight, it should actually have been a free machine. Yeah. So as you see, the carpenter is also on site on the day before the casting to make sure all the right levels are set, the boarding, setting the levels, how the slab is to be cast. And in terms of the boarding, we always buy wire boards because I think you can buy cyber boards which are cheaper, but they become bent in the sun, then you get crooked joints and all those things. So we always buy the top quality boards. The carpenter goes to select this board himself, make sure we get the top quality. So as you can see, the carpenter is just there now doing the final setting out. The steel bender is there. The steel bender has been actually here for about a week, doing all the columns work, doing all the reinforcement. So what we're doing here is that there's additional reinforcement on all over all the foundations walls. In addition to the beams we've already done before we finish the block work because of the height we talk about. So we do additional reinforcement to secure, to tie the whole foundation down. Also, in a car park area, we use A42 mesh, which is our 18 mm mesh, to reinforce that slab over there. I said to Mike, American cars are very heavy. And also, if you consider the EV, what is happening now, that in the next 5-10 years, almost everybody will be driving EVs. EVs are more heavier. So let's make sure we put a right reinforcement in that slab and make sure that the client can use that comfortably. So that is exactly what we use. And also when we casting the slab, one of the things we do is to have one level slab. So what you can see now, the guys are just in casting the foundation of the garage area. So it's what we decided here to do. If we wanted a garage slab to be 8 inches, and we find out if we want the garage slab to be 8 inches, and then the rest of the slab being 6 inches, there'll be a trip hazard. Why will there be a trip hazard? Because the way the house is, when you come into the garage, you open the door, you go into the main house, direct into the lobby. So I said, if we're gonna have that situation, that's a trip hazard. So the best way for us to do is to cast the whole of the slab 8 inches. It's a better quality product, it's a better quality finish, because it's important to get it right. What you don't want, as we keep saying, is that try to do a shoddy work, is do what is best for the client. Yeah, I think when we come to talk about the materials we use in the next video, people are gonna say, why do you use that much cement? I think even in our house, when we build our house, we talk a foundation. Even now, we still get people to say, why did you use 200 bags of cement for a foundation? What is interesting is people don't consider the size of the house, the size of the columns, the size of the foundation, how deep the foundation is or was. They will just say, what do you use 300, 400 bags of cement? Yes, every building is different, and you got to make sure you do the right thing for the right environment, the ground condition, to make sure you get a superior uh, property. And so I don't think there is one rule that you say, oh, I've just got to catch my slab 6 inches. Yeah, we have seen people who cut slabs that are not 6 inches. Um, but no, you don't have to go to say because it says 6 inches, you have to forget all issues and say, how do you HP the house, whereby you got to have steps within the house because you just want to make everything 6 inches. You can see the guys are just about um, just over halfway through. By this stage, I had a call from Mike and said they need to do overtime because the operators, those who made the machine, said a day their daily is 80 bags of cement per machine, and that is it. And I said, no, we need to finish this lap. I know it's a bigger area. It's 390 square meters or 400, 200 square foot of concrete we're casting in a day with two machines with 24 men. It's a big area. So Mike said, we need to do overtime. The guys are willing to do overtime. We remain to pay them the time and a half. So that is fine because it's going to cost us more to come back the following day to rent a machine, to repay the guys. So I said, if they could continue working till about 6:30, 6, and get all done, Mike said, yeah, they could do it. And I said, okay, let's just pay them the incentive. I said, it did work. And I must say a big shout out to Brother Kofi, who has also bought lunch for these guys on that day, and they really appreciate your help. And it's a great that the guys were able to finish that day. As you can see, the whole slab is fully casted. What you're seeing now is the back of the house, whereby there is a terrace. There's a terrace area um, over here. But I think overall it's a fantastic finish. I'm happy with the slab that is done and the great work every person in the team has put in. And yeah, a big shout out to Mike for overseeing this, and also our foreman Columbus, who is also doing a fantastic work both here and also Abokopi. I also want to use this opportunity to thank all our new subscribers, those who have just recently subscribed, and also existing those who have been with us for the beginning. Thank you for all your support. And also big shout out to all those people who are buying roofing tiles from our contact in China. This just yesterday we had two people who have their materials delivered back in Tema and they've collected it. And thank you, everyone. And thank you for supporting us. See you soon. Thank you. Bye for now.